Hi everyone. In today's video, we are going to cover how to thread your own eyebrows at home. It is beginner friendly, so if you've never tried it before, I'm going to break down the steps to make it easy for you, and I will give some tips on how to make it pain-free. So if you're interested, keep on watching. Okay, so as you can see, my eyebrows, I do thread them regularly. I did let them grow out for a while now. So as you can see, I do have some growth underneath and on top. It's not very even. So my eyebrows are in perfect shape to be threaded. So what you need is three things, two to three things, really. So one is a spool of thread. Any thread is going to work. I have this and it's light pink, but you could really use any thread that you have at home. It should work just fine. So you need the thread, and then you need tweezers. There are some hairs. You just need one, and you can use a favorite one. This is the one that I use. I got it at the drugstore. And there are going to be some little hairs that we will need this for more precision after we use the thread. So we're going to use the thread, this, and then the last thing, and we're just going to get it in just a second, is you need um, a like an eyeliner maybe, or an eyebrow pencil, something that you can draw with on your face. So you can use like a lip liner as well, something that you can draw on your face and then you can easily erase with a makeup remover. I'm gonna use my eyebrow pencil by Benefit Cosmetics. I use this to fill in my eyebrows, but this we're gonna use to draw some lines to make sure our eyebrows are symmetrical. This is not 100% required. If you kind of do this a couple of more times, I don't even really use this anymore. But if you're a beginner, it's your first time, I recommend you use this. This way, your eyebrows would be symmetrical, because sometimes it's easy to mess it up and then and then you have to fill them in. Okay, so we're gonna get started. So first, what you want to do is take your thread, and I usually go for about, like, if you were to measure it, maybe from here. Let's see if we, yeah, like, well, I guess depending on your arm length, maybe if you're holding it on your fingertips, all the way until your shoulder, something like that. And then you can use your fingers or your scissors to cut it. So now we have this thread, and what we're gonna do is we are going to connect it. We're going to make a loop here to connect the thread. I'm just making a little knot here. Kind of twist it, make sure like it's secure. And what you will notice is that if you have been threading your eyebrows, if you go to a place to get them threaded, this is not what they use. They use kind of the thread that as it's coming out of a spool, and you will notice that. Uh, but uh, but because we're doing it on ourselves, I find that it's easier to just use this thread like that, connected. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna take it like that and make sure that the spot where it was connected, it's on like the end, could be on left side, on the right side, doesn't matter. What you're gonna do is go between your fingers like that, and you're gonna twist the thread a couple of times, maybe like 6 or 7 times. Or I probably did like 10 times at this point. And make sure that this knot is on either side. Like, it can't be in the middle, otherwise it'll get tangled up and you won't be able to thread your eyebrows. Okay, so once you're done with that, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna measure our eyebrows. So my eyebrows are not super symmetrical. That's just how they grow. So I do use a pencil to fill it in when I do my makeup, but I'm gonna try to make it as symmetrical as I can. But naturally, they're just not very symmetrical. Okay, so what we're gonna do is take this thread and you're gonna place it at the base of both of your eyebrows here, and you're gonna try to make it straight. So, and then press it into your skin. And you will see that there's a line that forms here from pressing it into your skin. Just make sure it's straight. And this will give you a good outline as to where your eyebrows should start on either side. And then you take a pencil and then you draw it on top of the thread marks that you just made. As I was mentioning in the beginning, if you've done it a couple more times, you kind of like don't even really need to draw it with a pencil because you can see this line yourself. But it's easier, if you're a beginner to start drawing it, so you can see it better. Just gonna use my mirror here on the side and draw the line. Okay. As you can see, like this one is at the base, but here below the line, I do have some extra hairs here. So I'm gonna thread them. That way they become symmetrical. The problem with my eyebrows in particular is that this one starts to grow lower than this one, and this one goes up higher than this one. So like when we go into our second step, you're gonna draw the line on top now. So you're gonna take it and press it on top. Is my line straight? Okay, I'm gonna make sure it's straight. Okay, so we just kind of care about here if it goes a little bit slightly higher or lower. On the outer edges, it's fine. We just want to draw the line like from here to here. As you can see, like this one is higher and this one goes lower. That's just how it is. But I'm gonna draw the line to make sure that I can, when I'm threading, I know where it starts and it ends. Okay, so now we have that. What we're gonna do after that, so we got our points over to where our eyebrows should start, and then depending on how long your eyebrows are and what kind of shape you want, I mean, I guess this is the outer edges, the ideal symmetrical, like the ideal shape of the eyebrow that makes you look beautiful and looks good on everybody is usually like your eyebrow should end at like if you take the outer edge of your eye and you draw up a line at 45 degrees, this is where your eyebrow should end, ideally. So you can see here and here. So if your desired eyebrow shape is arched or even like rounded, kind of like what Kim Kardashian has in a way, it should end here, like if you draw a 45-degree line. So I have pretty heavy and bushy eyebrows. So my eyebrows actually grow past this point. I think they're somewhere here. So I do have to pluck it. I realize that for some people may have shorter eyebrows. So you just kind of like if your eyebrow stops short of this 45-degree angle, it's fine. That's where it stops, and you can just like fill it in with your pencil and make it longer if you want. But if your eyebrows are longer, this is where I recommend kind of going at a 45-degree, and then here as well, 45-degree. And I can draw it with a pencil. Mine kind of stopped there right now anyway, but I will draw it for like this tutorial purposes. Okay. Kind of approximately there. I guess you don't really need to draw all the way. You could just kind of like stop here. Just kind of know where the mark for your end is. All right, and now The other part is the arch. So how arched do you want your eyebrows to be? Again, depends on the shape of your eyebrows and like how they grow. Um, mine grow down. Mine grow down here too. So I have to kind of create that arch. They're not very arched naturally. So we're gonna do the same thing here. Is as you can see, like this one is I think is a little bit higher than this one, not super symmetrical. But if I go over this line, like you will see, I have this one is higher than this eyebrow. So let me see what I want to do about that. I think I'm going to make this one is a little bit shorter, a little bit lower, to make it more symmetrical with that. So let's draw that. So this one is an important one to make sure that your line is straight, because I feel like arches are very very important. I probably should have used another pencil, not the brown pencil, so you can see it better. And I draw over my eyebrows. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that these are straight lines. All right, so somewhat straight, and then you will see as we're threading it, we'll have to remeasure again, especially around the arches, to make sure they're straight and symmetrical. Okay, so our steps were to get this thread and just kind of make all the markings. And once we're done, now this is the fun part. This is where the threading starts. Okay, so I like to start with bottom. It's just kind of easier for me. If you mess it up, it's not as visible. So you start with the bottom, and then you kind of start to see like where we can start with this one because I think this eyebrow is easier. You can see like if you kind of make a marking here, and we could draw it too, but I'm not gonna draw anymore. You can see where like the stranglers are, how many little hairs grow underneath this line, because this line needs to be straight. It depends on how arched you want, right? Like if you make it super arched, then you have to take like all of these hairs out, and if you want to make it lower, depending on how your eyebrows grow, then you kind of take less of the hairs out. I'm gonna make it I'm just gonna keep my shape similar to what I currently have because I like it. And what we're gonna do is move up and down like that. So you're gonna put your fingers, you can put all of your fingers, I guess, for if you're a beginner. So like all the fingers on each side. We're gonna move up and down, up and down, up and down. Sometimes I like to take my pinky out. On one side, I'm right-handed. So if you're left-handed, it's probably gonna be switched. Take my pinky out. It helps me to control this a little bit better. I honestly don't know why, but I find this technique works better. So 4 fingers here on your dominant hand side and 5 fingers on the other one. And then what we're gonna do is open it up from the side that's opposite. So we're gonna thread it from in the direction that goes away from where the eyebrows grow, or in the opposite direction of what they grow. So they grow kind of from here that way, like up diagonally. So we're going to thread them from up down. So you're going to do is open it up, place it, and with the other hand, you're going to close it. So you're going to open it up, let's say place it, and close it with the other hand. And you're going to feel your hairs being like threaded, basically. So you can start slow and then check it. Okay. Okay, I think this is good. I did a couple more times. The little hairs came out. Okay. And then what you're going to do, I like to do the same sections on each eyebrow before I move to other sections. Just keeps like helps me concentrate on the areas a little bit better. So now we're going to do the same action with this eyebrow. And if you remember, when I drew this line, I have more hairs growing underneath this line in here. So more hair is going to come out of this side than the other side. Okay, so I'm just gonna use the mirror here so I can see better. So we're gonna open it up, place it, and close it with the other hand. So open it up, place it, close it. Okay. And move my mirror a little bit closer so it can still be on camera. And I don't know how zoomed in I can get, but if you see some of the hairs that you want out, I have this little hair over here that I want out. You can kind of like take the thread and wiggle it in and pluck it or like thread it. So this is what I'm going to do. I have one hair, just one that I don't want on my base. And sometimes if you can't get it with the thread, that's fine. You can take the tweezer. That's why we use it for more precision. If it's just like one hair or two hairs you want to pull out, you can use this for more precision. So I think that's what I'm going to do because I was unable to. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And then next what I'm going to do is pluck underneath here. I have little hairs growing here and there. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, in this motion, open it up and close it, and then pluck the rest of the little strangling hairs. So what I'm doing is this here. And the skin here is a little bit sensitive, so go slowly because you can pinch your skin and then it may get red. So here as well, I have a lot of like little, almost like baby hair for my eyebrows. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right, I think I'm done with the side. I'm going to do the same thing on the side. So again, we open it up, place it, and close it. And if you have a lot of like little hairs here at the bottom, what's going to start to happen is like the thread may not go all the way. So it'll stop. And you can probably see this happening with me. Okay, so I think this is good enough. And if we have like little stranglers, I'm gonna go with the tweezer and just like pluck them out. And I like to kind of drag my skin like this and go with like the magnifying mirror. Or not even the magnifying mirror. I think I have a regular mirror here right now. And just kind of pluck it. I don't have a whole lot because we did thread it. So, and I apologize about my nose. I've been a little bit sick, so not ideal, but it's been running for a couple of days now. Okay, so now the more exciting part, which is the tough part, which is the part that I personally don't like doing because it's the most stressful part to do, but we have to do it. Okay, so here we go. Let's start with this side because I don't have a whole lot of hair to take out this side, but it's the same motion that we follow. So we open it up, place it, and I'm gonna start like on top a little bit. I do have hairs there. So I'm gonna get rid of like outer or hairs on the outer edges. Okay, let's check. And one thing that may start to happen, I think it's happening for me, is because I've been threading for a while, the thread gets worn out a little bit, depending on the quality of your thread. My thread is not like super high quality, I think. It's on the thin side. So it started to get a little worn out. So what I like to do, oh no, did I lose it? I lost my thread. But if the other thread goes bad, then I'll have to find this end. But you can always start and you get your a spool and like start a new thread to make sure that it doesn't get worn out. If it's worn out a little bit, it's just won't capture your hair as good as quickly. And you'll have to go a couple more times versus like if the thread is fresh, you can like thread your eyebrows pretty quickly. All right, so now we're gonna go onto this side. I'm gonna look in the mirror. Again, open it up. I'm gonna place it and thread the row. Okay, this side is definitely messier for me. And I'm gonna go on the outer edges here. As you can see, I have hairs there. Open it, place it, and drag it up. Okay, let's check to see. Okay, not bad. It is definitely easier when you're looking in the mirror rather than a camera. Okay. Then I like to take my brush. Oops. It just like slipped from my hand. Yeah, I like to take my brush and I'm gonna like brush this up a little bit. And then kind of re-examine, like look at my eyebrows and see, maybe even like draw this line again, see like are they even or not, and then kind of go and do a little bit more. And I think we're pretty okay at this point. The only thing that I think, so let's finish with the thread. I think they're okay. We have to go back with the tweezers, but I think you get the idea of doing this. Is depending on the shape you want. And what I would do is like once you're done kind of threading the arches, I would go back and look again and see how symmetrical they are. If you want to take them up or down, just keep doing it until you kind of place it and you find that they're symmetrical. My eyebrows, again, they're not 100% symmetrical, so I will not be able to achieve that. So I always leave this one a little bit higher than this one, and then I go in with my pencil and pencil it in. That's just how it is for me. But if your eyebrows go a little bit more symmetrical than mine, then you can definitely, keep threading until they're identical. And then the last step, or not the last step, but the last step with the thread is to go and thread this middle part. I do have a unibrow, very defined unibrow. So, and I do have a lot of hair here that grows. So I always need to go and pluck this or thread this as well. So we kind of like do the same thing, and you have to go up like in a direction that is opposite from how your eyebrows grow. And the eyebrows here in the middle, they grow from down up. So when we're threading, we have to go from up down. So in the opposite direction of their growth. So we're gonna do, gonna open it up, place it, and drag it down. Open it up, place it, drag it down. And then do the same thing here. And kind of like keep doing it until you have, and then kind of go in the bottom here too, like sideways, because like this area, the top of your nose, is hard to grab like when you're going like this. So I like to do sideways a little bit. Okay. And if you can't pick up everything, that's fine. Like, don't kill yourself over it. Because our next step is going to be, we're going to take our tweezers and I'm going to just like, let me actually hold my mirror up so you guys can see. I'm going to pluck the little ones that I don't like. And I know that the proper way to pluck it is with the edge that's pointing up, but I've learned how to do it with the other edge, like the other side. So use whatever is convenient for you or whatever makes it easier for you. This is the easier way for me. And then I'm just kind of going and like perfecting it. If I see like one or two hairs that like pulled from the bottom, I do that, especially around the arches. Depending on like with the thread, sometimes it's hard to grab like specific hairs. The threading usually I find it works the best with like if you're removing the rows, like anything around your eyebrow, and then the first row, second row, third row, etc. It works better with that. And I think this side looks pretty good. Where we're gonna do, okay. So I think you get the idea. I'm gonna try not to make this video too long because it's a live stream, so I'm not actually editing this video to make it shorter. But it's gonna be it. So you do your threading, then you do go with the tweezers to make it a little bit more precise. And then the last step that I recommend doing, depending on how full your eyebrows are, is to get like a small brush like that. It's a hairbrush. It's a more precise brush. You can use like a very fine brush, whatever you have would work. And a pair of scissors. I have these hair scissors, but you can use like smaller scissors too. But this is just what I have in the bathroom, so I'm just going to use that. I like to brush my eyebrows, and I like to trim them. So my eyebrows do grow up a little bit. They're very bushy. And I personally do not like the look of like super feathered eyebrows. For some reason, I don't like it. And I have them naturally. So I do trim them. They just don't look good on me. So, and if you want that, like if you want to trim it, you brush your eyebrows up and take your mirror and then you trim it. And be gentle, like you can go a couple more times because like you don't want to trim them too low because then you're done. You know, once you cut your hair, you're done. So be careful. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. This side is good. And then another thing that I like to do, because my eyebrows are pretty full, is to brush it up, like this middle part. Brush it up and trim it like that. And this one as well. Sometimes I do down here. Brush it down and grab the hair. This is to just kind of, my eyebrows are I have a lot of eyebrows, so I need to trim them like that. And you may want to do that too a little bit, especially if you're a guy watching this and you have like lots of hair in your eyebrows, like you might want to trim it like that. Okay, and now we're done. So these are our eyebrows. This is what they look like now. I think after this video, I may go and just pluck a few hairs here and there, so it's a little bit more precise and to my liking. I just don't want to keep you guys here on this video and pluck my eyebrows for another 10 minutes and make this super long. But I think you get the idea. It's very easy to do at home. And I did talk while I was doing it, so it took me like, 30 minutes? But once you get this down and you do it a couple of times and you're not actually talking or making a video, it can probably take you like 10 to 15 minutes, once a week. So pretty easy to do. If you have any questions, feel free to comment and ask me questions. And otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching.